Alright people, what's going on? Space Cowboy here, welcome back to the channel. Got another video for you guys today. Before we get started with today's video, make sure to drop a like down below. It's been helping the channel out a lot, so please make sure to continue to do so. Also subscribe if you're new here to get more Dallas Cowboys content from yours truly now and in the future. And finally, hit the notification bell to be notified when I go live or post new content. So, before I get started, I'm not sure if you're going to hear in the background, there is some thunder. Don't worry, I'm fine. It's just, I don't know if the microphone will pick it up. But, I had a comment on one of my, things from Jeremy X, longtime viewer of the channel. Always brings a different, light to the discussion. And he's usually really good with his analysis. Very damn good. So, he left a comment, and I'll read it. I have an idea for upcoming content I'm sharing with all my favorite YouTubers I feel will do a very good work on their content. Best/worst case scenarios from a delayed/canceled season. Players that can heal or use rest from injury benefit by it, versus said players who may likely decline from a shortened/canceled season, age, rust-wise, harmed by it. Now, I think this is a fantastic point, and honestly, I was kind of, mulling when to do it. But considering the fact that July, I have stuff that I gotta take care of, whether, with me going out of town for a bit, all suited up, don't worry, I'm gonna be wearing a mask. I'm gonna be building a new computer, and then starting my new job after some delays with, COVID and stuff like that. July is gonna be a very weird month. So, heed that as the, hey, if I don't post in a bit, it's because I'm getting new stuff and I'm setting some stuff up. So, with that out of the way, what would happen if the season were to be delayed/canceled? Now, for me, because of how short the NFL season can be, with the amount of games they play on a weekly basis, I think that odds are, if you're going to cancel games, you're probably going to see a season get canceled. So if you were to ask me what's more likely, a season getting canceled or games getting canceled, I think a season getting canceled. Because if we look at the numbers and seeing how states are reopening way too early, I'm not trying to get into this conversation, but this is just straight up numbers and facts that I've been reading up on. It doesn't look like the virus is slowing down in terms of its infection rates. And also, that since testing has been trying to be curtailed by certain people in power, it's not really helping knowing who has COVID or not. So, the one thing I could say is that it's a multitude of reasons why we might not have a season. Now, what's important is now looking at the Dallas Cowboys. Who could this affect and why? Well, number one, it affects the whole team because you add a year onto everyone's age. That's number one. And number two, it can really throw in a loop for some guys. For example, your rookies don't get playing time, so they get I don't know how they'll do the contracts. Do they just foreload the contract? I don't know. They haven't discussed that with the Players Association. I mean, they're talking about not playing any preseason games, which would be a huge, oh damn. But your rookies, CeeDee Lamb, Trevon Diggs, Neville Gallimore, Reggie Robinson, Tyler Battis, all those guys. They don't get playing time. And so, really, if we have a canceled season, odds are they can't get their feet in the water when it comes to the NFL until 2021. And they'll be a year older, which maybe and so basically, if, CeeDee Lamb's 21 years old, you're technically drafting him at 22 years old. And we don't know how this affects the next year's draft, too. Because assuming that you don't have a season and you have no college football season, it really throws in a loop player evaluation and stuff like that. Okay, now that's huge, too, because if we can't evaluate players accurately to determine whether or not their stock is trending up or down, it's going to affect whether or not we should take a certain player now rather than just go off of name recognition, right? Because if you're going off of film, odds are you're going off of film from 2019 when we're in 2021 or whatever the case may be, right? So that's a huge factor, too. Now, when it comes to individual Cowboys, I think this could help benefit a couple guys. Guys like Zeke, Tyron, Zach Martin, basically some of those offensive players in the trenches, Tyrone Crawford, for example, Randy Gregory, it gives him more time. Basically, The reason why I named those guys on offense is because they get a year off, assuming we take the year off. Their bodies can heal up, and they basically could probably see their NFL career extended, and also getting a lot of time off could really help. It can really help them heal up, not have to. Who knows if the situation persists with them getting injured, but it allows them to recharge, because with how much they do in the trenches, definitely it's a deserved break, if that makes any sense. When it comes to the defensive side of the ball, I think this is where you can see some issues. Number one, with Leighton gets more time to heal. Okay, not only that, pretty much everyone can stay healthy, assuming they don't do anything stupid, and Sean Lee might end up retiring because he's up there in age, and maybe it's just like, hey, I was just gonna do one more year, but since I can't play, I might as well retire. That's a situation you got to look at, okay? And it really comes down to how the contracts are played out, right? I think that ultimately, I might be spitballing here and just jumping around. It's just there are a lot of unknown factors. First of all, how many preseason games are we going to be playing? Right now, the Cowboys are slated to play 2, which is already a situation. Now they could go down to 0 because of the Players Association saying we don't want to play any preseason games. So there's that, right? And we haven't gotten to minicamp yet, so we don't know. Then the question then comes, okay, well, what if the season gets canceled? Now, how do contracts turn out? Do you end up, because they're not playing, do you foreload the contract into the following year? Or do you have to go under the assumption, because now if you don't get Dak his deal, which rumors are circulating that he might, get his deal by July 15th, which I would expect. That's what I'm thinking. But assuming that he doesn't get his deal, now you're in a situation where, guess what? You still got to pay your quarterback. And the salary cap could drop too. So it could affect, it really comes down to how the NFL handles free agency. Because that's another thing. We don't know how they're going to do that, because they're assuming we're going to have a season and there's not going to be any issues. We'll just have no fans in the stands, as you can see with the picture. Yeah, you're not going to see those types of interactions. But again, if we have to go through these complicated process, type of things where we have to, everyone's got to live in a bubble. Because in the NBA, I recommend everyone to keep an eye on the NBA. If the NBA, fails to restart their league, or the restart is an absolute disaster, odds are the NFL might have the canceled season. And once again, if people would just do their damn due diligence and put masks on, yes, you could still get the virus while wearing a mask. But if we could have done a better job as a whole, not just people, but also our government doing their job to help people stay home, not worry about paying rent and all this, that, and the third. I know that's a whole other, again, side conversation, but this is important. If we didn't have those issues, we would be probably talking about the next season. Looking forward to it, as many of us are. The reason why I'm trying to I'm not trying to put out a lot of stuff is because guess what? We don't know what the hell is gonna happen in 2020. For all we know, we don't have a season. For all we know, we do have a season. The Cowboys go win the damn Super Bowl. We don't know what's going to happen. Now, if the season were to be delayed, let's say they cancel the first 4 games of the season, so you're only playing 12 games, including playoffs. It depends. So if we take out the first 4 games of the Cowboys season, that's some easy games that they could probably win, right? They can stack wins. So that can hurt them too. That's another thing. However, if they do play the games, there could be situations where it's advantages for the Cowboys, because, they got to play Seattle early in the year, and odds are that Seattle's not going to have a lot of... If there's no fans in the stands, it doesn't matter where you play at this point in time. It's basically everyone's playing on a neutral site. Or if depending on the state. If the state allows fans, odds are, that could be an advantage in certain states. So, there's that, right? Overall, yeah, I do think that there are some situations where it can benefit some people. It can be a negative effects, for the older veterans that are nearing that age where they can't really do much anymore. Or if you got someone a 1-year deal and they don't they don't carry the deal into the following year because there's no football played. There's an issue there, right? I mean, we just saw Patrick Mahomes get all that money, but I'm not going to talk about that because that has nothing to affect Dak Prescott because Mahomes' deal has to deal with with adjusting to cap rather than a fixed number. Okay, but overall, how do I feel about the season now? I'm probably at a 50-50 chance we have a season right now. Now, I'll probably end up once minicamp gets close, I'll start doing videos about that, and also if Dak gets his deal, I'll do that. Once if I have everything all set up, but honestly, dude, it comes down to what do we do in the next couple months? If we could all stay inside, and I know people have the work to pay their rent, if we can do a due diligence all together and help people pay their bills, the government's able to do that and bail out Wall Street, but hey, that's not my business, but just saying, we gotta, there's a lot going on, and I think that we could definitely help subdue this entire situation, do you know what I mean? But, yeah, I mean, like, we just gotta stay indoors, wear your masks, don't go outside unless it's absolutely necessary. You know, or if you do have to travel somewhere, like I have to, wear your mask and just try to have minimalistic contact with people. Do what you gotta do. And I know that sounds easier said than done, but if you want football, just abide by that, and we'll get through it together. So, I think I've gone for long enough. This is just a spitballing conversation about what do we do if a season gets canceled? Just what are we looking for? So, I hope you guys enjoyed this little talk. As a reminder, if you made it to the end of this video, here's the reminder. I probably will not be doing anything. I'll take a small break because, again, I'll be out of town. Once I get back, I have a new PC I will be building, and I have a graduation ceremony to attend. That would be mine. And also a job starting up in the next couple days since, COVID's been delaying stuff. So, if I'm not doing anything, it's not because, also nothing's going on, but just be aware. Like, so if Dak signs his deal while I'm gone, odds are I'm not going to be doing a video on that until I get home. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this content. Thank you guys so much for understanding and stuff like that. And I'll see you guys later. Peace out, guys. Bye-bye.